Hello, my name is George, and 2 days ago I bought this camera. It's an old Praktica from German Democratic Republic, and it was working when I got it. It got stuck. The lever is not pulling anymore, and I was hoping that I would add a Raspberry Pi sensor to it, so I would make a mirrorless camera from it. But it's super nice camera, and I decided that I want to take it apart, see what's inside, maybe learn how some of the things works. Disclaimer, I have no idea how old cameras work properly. I have never disassembled any camera in my life. I'm just a normal guy who likes tinkering, so if you find videos of people disassembling stuff relaxing, like me, you can stick around because I'm gonna be doing that with this camera in this video. Okay, so let's change the angle right now. Okay, so let's try to disassemble this camera. I already removed this cover because I was figuring out how to remove the dial, and there was no other solution than just peel it off with a screwdriver. So I basically removed the cover like this. I went under it, and long and behold, there's a screw under it. So I guess we can try to remove the top cover first. Okay, there's a screw and a couple more parts. So if you look at the top part, there's like a little notch that goes into this notch. There's like a hole in the black thingy inside, so that aligns into that. There's a spring that is holding this piece, and the numbers are aligned based off this little dot here, so you know which way to put the numbers in. And I did not have any boxes to put the parts to, so I made Lego boxes from old Lego that is lying around here. And there's the ring of the dial. There's like a ragged part here. Now we can try to remove this part, which should be pretty easy. If we open the camera, you can try to screw it off like this. I don't want to break it. Okay, now it's going off. Cool. So that's the rewind thingy. So I would guess that this little ring is holding the lever. So I might try to peel it off, but I don't want to really destroy it, so wish me luck. I need to find some tweezers for that. Cannot find them. Finally! The ring popped off. That's the little fucker that I had struggles with. Okay, now I find this that could have helped me, but I think I'm still gonna use it because there are like two holes, and I would assume that you need to put like a rotational movement to the holes, so I might try that. Okay, I don't know really. I don't want to break this because it's not mine, so it's not that hard as I expected. Okay, so I used a piece of rubber on pliers to like loosen up their circle, so now it's coming off. I'm gonna move this thing so it doesn't zoom on it, so we can just screw it off, and this should be our lever free, I would guess, at least. Yes, that's a free lever. There's probably more rings there. Okay, so that's a one ring. And I would guess there's like a... Okay, so this should just pop off. Boys and girls, I think we are ready to remove the top cover, so we need to unscrew the screws around it. I don't know if there's just 4 screws, but let's hope that there are only 4. Yep, it's going like a butter. Two more, hopefully. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Oh no. Okay, I'm fucking retarded. Oh no. Oh my god, why did I close that? Jesus. Oh man. Hopefully it's gonna be not that hard to open it again, but that's gonna be a complication for sure. No, I don't think it's loose enough. It's definitely loose, but I would expect it to be loose more, so we probably need to remove some more parts. Okay, let's just remove the bottom part, because I think there might be access to the opening mechanism at the bottom, so let's remove the bottom cover. And as you can see, there's already one screw missing. I bought it like this, so probably the previous owner lost it somewhere, or it got lost somewhere, I don't know. I feel like it's super loose. Okay, that's nice. So that's the top cover. Feels like aluminum, probably. Super light. And wow, there's a... Wait a minute, there's a battery? Am I retarded, or why did I think that this camera was a mechanical camera? Huh, it might be for the flash, I'm not sure. I'm quite surprised there's an electronic. As I said, I've never used any old camera, so I don't know how they work. Huh. Interesting. And I think, yeah, this is the opening mechanism. So I'm not that retarded, just a slight bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, so there's like this thing that slides down to open the doors. There's like this button, which for some reason is kind of crooked to the side. It's leaning to the side. Interesting. What if I try to... Okay, the wheel is turning and I get always to the last one. So I was trying to move this dial and I'm currently at the most right position, and if I try to turn it to the left position, you can see that it's not moving, and after I get to the last one, which is probably... Okay, it's turning slightly, not only at the last one. Okay, cool. Just position all the parts that I disassembled. And also, I think since this was like a mechanism for the battery, I would assume that you can screw this off to access the battery. Oh yeah. Okay, it's going on. Nice. Yeah, so this was like a placeholder for the battery. That's nice. As I was turning the camera, I noticed that this ring is kinda loose, but not really. So maybe we just need to remove some of these parts first. I'm not totally sure if I have small enough screwdriver to fit in there. Maybe this one will help. Yeah, I don't think so. I need to find a better one. This one's a little bit sharper, so might help. Yeah, I think I'm doing something. Okay, I definitely loosen up the screw. Still holding strong. Oh no. Okay, now it's out. Nice. Doesn't seem to... Man. Okay, but now the cogwheel doesn't seem to be turning anymore, so I probably had to do something with the screw that I removed. Okay, dude, there was a big scam there. Under this little fucker there are like 3 or 4 more screws, and you have to kind of slit your screwdriver under this part, and this thing comes off. It is so scammy. Jesus, how was I supposed to know that? Man, it doesn't even want to come off. Okay, there are like 3 screws. Okay. Ooh, that wasn't a pleasant sound. That was like scratchy loosening. Ooh. I literally had to find a random video of man disassembling different type of camera, and there was this little trick shown, so I'm glad that I found it. It's getting super loose, but my screwdriver is too big to be like centered. Okay, now it should come off. Okay. Ooh, there are wires. Oh no, no. Okay, so this thing was on, and let's inspect closely what's here. Okay, so there's like a blue wire. Come on, focus. Blue wire, and there's like a toilet seat. This thing probably also comes off, but I'm not really sure. How do I? Okay, so obviously the flash was wired, so at least I got that right. I don't want to use brute force to remove it. Maybe now the cover will come off. Nope. So we removed a couple more screws, but no progress. Nice. I feel like it's supposed to go out whenever we remove the top cover, but I don't know, man. I think there's still something holding it together. Maybe this thing, if it zooms correctly, there's like two pieces that we can use the tweezers to kinda circle it out. Maybe, I don't know. No, this is not good enough for that. This ring was moving, but I don't want to scratch it like super hard, so maybe it's really this thing that's holding it, because the other guy who was disassembling the camera, can you fucking focus, please? Put like two screwdrivers into this hole and moved it, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna break it, so I don't know. Okay, it moved. Nice. I got somewhere, so I at least know which way to use, which direction to move it. Ooh, that's tough. My God, this is insane. Okay, but it's definitely more loose. So this is the thing. I'm definitely doing the right thing right now, but I don't have the right tools to do it. I feel like I'm gonna stab myself. Jesus. Okay, it's loose. Finally, the left side is loose. Hell yeah! And also, I forgot to mention, when I was fiddling with the camera, there was like this button. Oops. There was like here. As I'm pointing at, there was this little fella. And the button was for unlocking the spinny thing so you can rewind it back, I think, but I'm not really sure. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? So, okay, that went flying. So there was this thingy that I found out that might have been spinning.
Okay, so this is super loose, as you can see, but there's still some kind of pressure here. Woo! Damn! Okay. So I popped it open. Nice. Well done, me. I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to remove the wires, so... Okay, I'm just probably gonna remove the cable because this would be pretty much impossible to handle with the wire. I mean, it's just a cable. It would be possible to solder it back. Okay, so I'm just gonna do snip snip. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, the wire is kinda... Okay, now it's gone. It's loose, hell yeah! We have the flash holder cover or whatever it is. Under that there was this thing. It was sliding onto these sides. And the top cover, same as before, I think it's aluminum. Yeah, this thing is definitely not going off. It's spinning and it took me off guard because I thought it was removable. So I'm definitely not gonna be removing that. Okay, there's a plastic thingy which feels like hot glued to the aluminum part. So I'm not gonna do probably anything about that. And now we are left with this monstrosity. I mean, look at that. Holy moly, look at those cogwheels. It looks so, it looks like some kind of clock with springs and wheels around. Jesus, this is complicated. There also seems to be some kind of electronics, and since I'm not really good at soldering / electronic knowledge, I won't be probably telling you anything more about that.
Okay, so let's continue. I don't really know where to start unscrewing things, because originally I was planning to keep this part so I can use the dial thing. I was hoping to keep that, but I think I'm gonna go all in and disassemble as much as I can, probably. I guess I'm gonna try to remove this thing. We'll see how that's gonna look like. So there seems to be 2 screws, pretty easy. He doesn't want to go out! Man! I think it's super loose, but... screws out. But this doesn't seem to be super loose. I try to move with it, it doesn't move at all. Okay, so that's probably a dead end, I'd say. Let's remove this part here. This should be pretty easy and straightforward. So that's one part, and the second part, and it's loose. Okay, I just tapped my camera. And as you can probably see, there's the glass. And there was also other piece that fell off. This ring, I mean this piece that fell off. So if you look at the viewfinder, there's like a filth, some kind of dirt under that, so it wasn't that big of a problem because you could still use the viewfinder without any troubles. So under this piece of cloth, this is kinda, there's like the lens that is mirroring downwards, so you see what the mirror see. So if the cloth wasn't here, well, I guess there would be this part, but the cloth prevents the eye seeing like through, because if I remove it, you can see, you can now see like pretty much through the whole way. And now when there's something, you are watching through the mirror here. Okay, so I just realized that there was like a glue here, so if I kinda wiggle it a little bit, it almost came free, but I'm not really sure. Let's see, I'm gonna use the screwdriver. Slightly, but surely. Oh, that wasn't a pleasant sound. Yeah, I guess it's the epoxy or the glue, whatever it is. You think there's a screw under it? Okay, there was a ton of glue. But it is also wired, so I guess it wasn't just the glue what was keeping it at the place. Okay, I really don't know what this is. Maybe if someone in the comments has more knowledge of electronics than me, then you can tell me down in the comments. I think pretty much everyone should have better knowledge of electronics than me, because I'm like dumbass at it. There's like this little thing that you can flip around, but I'm not really sure what should it be used for. I don't really want to snap it yet, so let's try to unscrew some more screws. So I see like 3 screws here, here and here. So let's try to undo them. Ooh, there was a long one. There was a long screw. Okay, second big screw. And I think even the big piece kinda loosen up. And now this whole thing is wiggly, super loose. There was also this thing, which was connected to the electronics part that we just removed. So let's try to undo this this little screw. Oops, I bumped into my camera. There was like a super small PCB where two wires were connecting. Normally I would say it's ground, but maybe they just didn't have long enough wire to install it, but I don't know, I'm not really sure. Because I don't think there's like anything on the PCB, or is it? Okay, when I try to wiggle this, it came off. Ooh, that's heavy. Ooh, there's the mirror. Ew. So here's this part. This is the reflection thing. Oh, this is super interesting. This is like glass thingy. Okay, so this thing was telling if your shot is loaded or not. So if it was loaded, there was like this little triangle, I think. Let's just have a look at the lenses here. Super interesting. I've never taken apart any camera, and this is like Craigasm for me currently. Ooh, so the like the dirty spot was inside of this part. So okay, I'm gonna have to make more Lego boxes for those pieces. Okay, so I made another box, and let's start to disassemble this piece. So obviously there are three, oh, okay, 5, not 3. This screw was holding the arrow that I was talking about. There was. I mean, there is. Ooh, that's a thick ass screw, man. And I feel like that this would come off. Cool. There was also these two metal pins holding the glass/plastic piece. Man, this is so heavy still. Okay, so there's like a mirror here. This is so cool. There's like a, you can see the reflection of my camera there. Panasonic. It's not Panasonic Lumix. Can you focus properly or no? Probably not.
So it was couple days from last time I had the camera in my hands because I had to do something else. And this thing started to peel off. I didn't originally want to put it off, but since it's already peeling, I think we might as well. Okay, so that was super easy. I think there are 2 screws there, here and here. So maybe even this thing should come off. Oh my god, that sound. And there are the 2 screws, as I said. Nice. Okay, I can slightly feel in my hands that it's getting super loose. And we have to somehow peel the other side off. So let's try to... Ooh, that sound. And there it goes. This thing's off. And other 2 screws. Oh, there's a hole here. Interesting. And can we... Ooh, that's kinda... Wow, I did not expect it to go this well. Okay, so there are still some wires here, which are connected. Okay, I didn't know that this was that easy to remove. Interesting. I'm just thinking that I'm gonna snippety snip the wires, because it would be super difficult to disassemble more stuff without snipping the wires. Ooh, look at those springs. Okay, this is mechanical orgasm. I might try to remove... Well, it's still connected. I mean, I can try to remove this thing. Maybe see if the wires will come with it. Okay, 1. Okay, so that was pretty easy to remove. And same as at the top, there is like this U-shaped circle that is holding the gear at the place. So I think that we can... Ooh, nice! So currently it's holding just this one wire, and I think this blue wire is connected to here. Okay, so I probably disconnected from somewhere. And the wire just came off. And I think the wires were connected. Come on, focus. Were connected to here. As I'm pointing with my screwdriver. Probably, maybe, possibly. Okay, so there's also this thing that was near the heavy lens block, and I swear that I've seen it before, and it's probably some kind of diode or resistor. I'm gonna Google it. Give me a sec. Okay, so I found that it's probably photoresistor. it decreases the resistance based on luminosity. So cool. So that is this part here. Let me try to remove the cloth. And it's probably connected through here to some of these wires, I would assume. Okay, I am curious if we can somehow remove the PCB with the wires. Okay, so I was fiddling with it, and there's like this piece probably preventing the circuits touching anything else. I can kinda get my screwdriver beneath that. I'm gonna remove the bottom part so it doesn't focus on a different thing. That doesn't seem really removable. I don't know, man. Maybe these holes maybe are holding the PCB. I'm not really sure. They doesn't seem to look like a normal screw. Okay, but they are moving, so it was probably it. Okay, so let me just position the other two. Oof. Okay, I just made a hole in my in my background. Oh no 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 no. Oh my god, I'm so fucking blind. There's a screw. Oh my god, I am the blindest man ever. So it can be removed. And it was even pretty long screw. Okay, so this is fairly free. Interesting, there's a plus and minus sign. This thing also popped off. Which was probably facing from this side. So it was connected to this piece. Which is connected here. If I'm pressing this, you can see that this thing's moving. And it was moving the aperture at the lens, this thing here. And also, if I recall correctly, it was moving oh, it's some nasty PCB. It was moving this thing. It was connecting this piece of wire to this thing. I'm just stating what's obvious to me. Maybe too obvious even for you, but nevertheless. Okay, so what else can we do with the wires? Can we somehow remove this cover here? Okay, so it seems to me that this part here is quite loose, but again, I don't want to break it or something. Maybe those two screws, but okay, so I tried to fiddle with it slightly. the right part, the right side wasn't that stiff, but the left side, I think I might have broken it slightly. Here I made a little crack, sadly. I think I'm gonna try to remove those two screws, maybe it will help. Okay, this one was fairly hard to unscrew compared to the other one. Okay, did anything moved significantly? Doesn't seem so. I still think that this circle should be somewhat removable, but okay, what if I try to push from the inside on the aluminium casing? Will it do something? Okay, it doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a destructive move, but I'm not sure. Okay, so now it's off. And as you can see, there was this little bar connected. And yet we have not much more knowledge of how to remove remove this circle. I wanted to remove the circle so I can get out the photoresistor. Okay, I think I'm gonna unscrew this black wire, which is connected to the aluminum part that I just removed. Okay, so the aluminum part is free. The wires are still coming inside this little hole, which is definitely connected to the photoresistor. Okay, I'm super dumb. I could have just removed this black thing, black circle around it, because there was this opening that I could have just popped it off the circle inside, and as you can see, it's going like a butter. And there are a couple more screws. Okay, I mean, but more I know. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna remove the screws. There seems to be 5 screws. Okay, now the ring comes off. Cool. We are moving through the disassembly. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to remove the photoresistor without any snipping. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Okay, so I'm gonna snip it right here. Those are some tough wires, man. Or I have just bad clippers. Probably. Okay, so the ring is free with the photoresistor. Also the rest of the electronics. Okay, so this was the photoresistor. This was the ring that you can screw the lens into. And this was the rubber thingy that was on the ring. That leaves us with this mechanical contraption. And I think if I load this thing, you can see the springs are loaded, and I press the shutter button. You can see that the mirror flicked to the top, and it still needs to flick to the bottom. So when I release it like this, it goes back. And for some reason, the loading was broken, because when I load it with the lever, when I was pressing the button, it wouldn't do anything. So I was trying to figure out how it all works. So if I move this to the right like this, it gets loaded behind this lever, and when I press this button, this thing moves to the right, and the mirror flickers to the top. So if I press the button, this little guy should move. Okay, so it moved to the right, and the mirror is also at the top. And now if I loosen up this little lever from before, it gets back where it started. It is important because we still have this piece, and from what I can tell, there are two shutter mechanisms. One is here. If I try to move this thing, it moves to the top, and the second one moves from the bottom and loads the first one also. So if I want to load the whole thing, I figure out that there's this lever. This one here. If I try to move it, you can see the mechanism is getting loaded. Okay, and right here there's like this little knob that if I try to move the second mechanism, if I move the second mechanism and let go of the first one, okay, I didn't do it correctly now. Okay, so I managed to load it. I had to take a break because I was getting real triggered, and as you can see that the second shutter is locked onto this, and whenever this thing is pulled towards the camera, so this way, it releases the shutter, and the top side goes down and the bottom shutter goes up, so it will leave a slight window for the light to pierce onto the film. And if we try to put this back, this little piece has to go into this hole. So let's try to do that. It's much easier to get it into this slot when the wheel is set to B, which is the one off from the one of the sides, because it's pretty much open. If I try to move the wheel, the slot gets super small and it's hard to get in, so that's why it's good to have it on the B. And now when we have the middle part in, we can load the spring because our lever is not working. I'm gonna do that using this thing. Okay, first I have to hold it real good and position the camera so you can see it better. So I'm gonna load the spring as I show you with only this part. So now it's loaded, and when I press this button, it will release this thing to the left, and while it goes to the left, it will bump into this little guy, which will release the both shutters. And since the shutters are flicking back, so this little notch that would be normally here, which is down to this side, will get back to us and will flick this piece, which will release the mirror back down. So if I try to do that, I'm not really sure if it's gonna work now, because I have no idea if I assemble it correctly. I'm gonna try to zoom on that so you can see it better. I'm pressing it in 3, 2, 1. So hopefully if I try to use maybe slower frames, it's gonna be better visible, but since I'm using only 24 frames, I'm not really sure about that. The only thing that why the camera is not working properly is the loading mechanism. When I try to move the lever, it doesn't work. So the lever would be here normally, like this, and the lever doesn't move to the right to load the film. And I'm guessing that this little guy that I used to load the shutter goes into this little guy that loads these springs for the mirror. The question is, why is the lever not working? I think I'm gonna try to disassemble this part, so we're gonna see it better. Since I'm in position where I would not be able to put it back together, I think we can try to disassemble this main part, which is the dial thing and the lever, and see maybe if there was some kind of problem that we can identify, but I doubt that, because this is getting out of my possible knowledge zone. I think I'm gonna remove those screws and we might be lucky and all the mechanisms inside of this part will go at the same time. But I kinda doubt that. I think it's gonna go part by part. Okay, it's slightly looser, but not removable. Okay, I think there's another screw behind this dial, so you're gonna remove it. Okay, so that went pretty peacefully. Okay, so does the dial just pop off the thing? No, it seemed to be. Oh, it's also on a spring. It's how many pictures have you taken? I was fiddling with it again, and I found out that I can just wiggle it out. So there you have it, spring connected to this part here, and that gives us space to unscrew this little guy hidden. Okay, is it free? Oh, it's definitely moving, but it's not free. Okay, something just... Okay, it was the... Yeah, that was from this. I unscrewed the screw from it at the beginning. Okay, so that's that. Okay, it still does the nice sound. By the way, this part was the slot that I was talking about previously. And what are we left with here? What a surprise, more gears. Okay, so this thing here controls the shutter. It loads it. If I try to move it to this side. Come on. As you can see, it's loaded. I struggled with this to do it manually before. And if I move this thing, it releases. So that's this thing. I can maybe do it manually like this so you can see it fully. Okay, the reason why the lever wasn't working was this little guy. I don't know what is he connected to, but if I try to load it without him being there, I can do it. As you can see, it's loaded. I guess I might try to figure out what this little guy is connected to, but probably tomorrow, because as you can see there's less light than before. It's getting late and I don't have two white lights to support the darkness. I mean, not support, it would fight the darkness. What I meant to say, I don't have enough lights to continue now, so let's see you in a sec for you. Last time we had a problem that this little guy was blocking the lever to pull the shutter, and if we move the part to side we can load it. Okay, but I cannot do it in one hand. Okay, let me try that again. If I load it, it is locked now, so the mechanism is there for like some reason, logical reason. And if I press the share button, you can see that this part slided right under the blocking mechanism. So if the blocking mechanism was slightly downwards, let's say here, like this, it would be open and not locked. So the only problem is that it's not at its place. Maybe it's just bent metal. So I think this was the whole problem why it wasn't loading, because if it was down here the whole time, this piece of metal would push it this way and it would stay open. So that's why the lever wasn't working. I think that concludes our problem, and we can start disassembling again. I think we should try to remove the whole mechanism right here. And I see this white screw, silver screw I should say, but that's probably not the one that is holding the whole thing. Maybe we will have to remove part by part. Okay, this thing is definitely not fully attached, so I think we can remove it like so. Okay, so that was fairly easy. Okay, so it's the lever part. Okay, I see screw right here. Maybe it's one of the main screws that is holding it together. It's definitely not much looser. After inspection, this part is pretty loose. It's just this thing. Okay, it was loose like a couple of seconds ago. What is going on? Jesus. Okay, like this. I think I'm stuck, so I'm gonna remove this screw first. Okay, that's one screw. We achieved that this piece is getting free. And I also accidentally removed this piece that just popped to my hand, almost. Which leaves us with this piece, which is also free now. Oh, there are two pieces, okay. Okay, this spring is also free now. So I'm just gonna remove it. And this whole piece comes off easily. Cool. And I feel like that we have to remove this screw, which might release the shutter. Okay. I don't think that those dots are screws, but it's definitely holding together. So I think we can try to remove the shutter by ourselves. Pop it from the hook, which is harder than I expected. Oof, yikes. Okay, maybe we can try to remove something from the bottom, because I just realized there's this thing holding the film roller. So if I try to push it down, which it does, the roller, I would say it comes off, but I'm not really sure. I don't want to break it. Interesting. It doesn't come off as easily as I would expect. Can definitely see some springs between here. It's probably the wrong way to go. So it seems that this thing can be screwed off. So I can just use my finger for that, and it comes just right off. Oh no. And with that we can simply just remove the stopping mechanism that was causing the whole ruckus. Let's see in the profile if it's bent or not, maybe. No, I don't think so. It seems pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's bent. Okay, underneath that there's one more ring to remove. There's one screw right here. Okay, now I feel like it has to be loose. What? Man. Did it help? Okay, now it's slightly moving. I don't know if you can see it, but it's definitely loosened up. But the screw itself doesn't want to come off. I feel like I absolutely loosen up the screw, but it doesn't want to come off, which is a shame. I'm pretty stuck now, not gonna lie. Okay, I removed the screw that I was trying to remove earlier. We need to remove this spring first, and underneath that spring there's the circle that is holding the whole thing together. I think it's holding the whole thing together. It might not be true, but it would be really difficult to pop it. Oh, maybe. Okay, I think I moved it slightly, which is nice. Can you focus, please? And I'm gonna use something real pointy to try to remove it. And it came off. Nice. Brilliant. It was this little hoof looking thing. Now I think I'm gonna try to wiggle this whole thing off, but I'm not really sure if it's gonna work. And it actually works. Nice. Great. And the shutter is off the hook. So as I said, it's not screws, but it's holding together. I don't want to really break it, even though I'm not gonna put it back. I feel like it's not worth breaking. And we are left with gears. So what now? Okay, there's the same hoof looking thing, so you can try to remove it. Okay, now it fell inside. Maybe we can remove this part. Yeah, it seems so. But it's loaded to its spring. Okay, so that was this part here. The spring is also free to remove, I would say. Yep. There's another hoof looking circle holding something together here fairly easily. Now this part is free to open. I mean free to remove, I would say. Well, not really free, there's some spring holding it. Not quite free, have to say. Come on, man. Don't make it difficult, please. Okay, now it's kind of off. The spring was holding it together. And the spring is still attached somewhere. Okay, now this is the spring. The part that was being held by the spring is still there. It was this thing. What did we achieve by removing that? Something looser than before? Doesn't seem so. Feels bad, man. Oh my god. Feels bad, man. For some reason, there was another hoof looking circle beneath one of the gears. So maybe there was damage from before. I don't know. This little thing seems to be pretty removable. So let's try to remove that. Okay. That's one screw off. And it leaves us with this thing free, I would say. Probably, possibly. Yep. Or no? Yep. There are two more screws here, so why not to try to remove them? There seems to be a part beneath that. Okay, I almost lost it. There's a spring. And this little part. Does it leave us with something more to remove? There's still the rewinding button for rewinding the film back, I think. If I press it, does something happen? No, anything doesn't seem to move. What about up here? Nope. Maybe we can try to remove this screw here. Which is fairly easily removable. Okay, I don't think we achieved something more removable. Maybe we can start removing the shutter mechanism. I see screw here. One of the screw is probably removed from before. There's this thing here, also holding the shutter, I think. But what about now? Okay, the part underneath that is free. It seems that it's still being held by something. We can try to remove the part that is holding the wires. Okay, can you come off, please? Please? Hello? Okay. And it doesn't seem to be magnetic, so... And this part is also free. I mean, it's two parts holding on the magnetic screwdriver. So, and the wires are also free if I can. Oh my god, I don't think I can get them through that. Oh no, no. Or maybe I can. Who knows? Ooh, this is gonna be... Okay, it wasn't that bad. So the wires are free. Cool. Maybe this thing like is glued. So let's try to gently remove that. Come on. Okay. And now it seems pretty loose. I think it's still being held by something, but it's definitely moving. When I was having a break, I thought I might to remove this part, just to remove it, and voila, it popped right off, so that's that. Let's see if we can remove more of them in the same way. I don't really think so, but also there was this part that popped off. I was fiddling with it. I think it was somewhere here, but I don't really know where. It just fell off. So also the shader mechanism is still present, and I have no flipping idea how to remove it. It seems to be loose, but I think there's something here holding it. There was the hoof looking thing, but it's still holding, so I don't know. Maybe we can try to remove this one. I think this is the one connected to this roller, because when I'm spinning it, I mean all the wheels, cog wheels are spinning, but I think this is the one connected to it, and maybe we can remove it fully. So let's try to remove the ring that's holding it together. Okay, it's loose and it's gone. It just popped off. Okay, let me try. I'm gonna try to find it. Oh well, I think it's a gunner, so that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, so we can try to remove this thing, which was fairly easy. And I think that we can remove the roller here. So it was really connected to the cogwheel as I thought so. So if we just press it here, I think we can remove it, maybe. No? Interesting. It still doesn't want to come off. Huh. When I press this thing, it's connected to the stick that is just pointing out, so I don't think we can remove it just right now. Or can we? Okay, we might be able to remove it. Okay, so it's out. Okay, so the spring was connected to this. Spring. And I don't think oh, it just comes off this way. Cool. Okay, it can be removed. Okay, this ring is removable right here, and also I see there's another part that can be removed. Cool. I think it might have been on the bottom here. I mean, it's moving a little bit. So I think the side near to my thumb is quite loose, but something here is still holding it together. So I don't know. I hope it's not glued to that. That would be pretty unethical. Okay, so I finally realized that this little guy needs to be screwed off. It was pretty difficult because I don't have small pliers for that, so I had to improvise, and I think I can screw it off maybe just with the tweezers. Okay, so this was the guy causing all the trouble, and now moment of truth. Can we just pick it up? Yes, we can. God damn. So here's the mechanism. And of course, this thing here is also popped off. And this thing's probably also free. Yep. This was for the button on this piece. I can probably even show it to you if I found it. This thing here was connected to it. And also all of a sudden the shader just pops off. So I don't know what was holding it there. Okay, so we have the shutter here. I was inspecting it and this blade kinda popped off, so I put it back to its place, but I don't know, it's slightly bent. Also, I cut myself. My dumbass was doing some stupid shit. So that's why I had to skip the video. Anyway, as you can see, there are two parts of the shutter. If I pull this thing to the side, I hope I didn't break it. Okay, you could probably see that the top part stayed at the top. This part is holding onto this piece. So when I flick this thing, this bigger thing, the bottom part slides down, and there's another lever beneath that. If I flick that, the top part slides down also, but I think I was out of focus, so I'm gonna do that again. So I'm flicking the part closer to the camera, the bottom part slides down, and I'm gonna flick the part that's farther away from the camera, and the top shutter slides down. So that's achieving, because I would assume that both of them are flicked pretty much at the same time, and that achieves that there's only a brief moment when the light can come through the rectangle. So we can try to remove all the screws and disassemble the shader parts. Once again, I was using the smaller screwdriver for other things, so I don't currently have it in my hand, the small one. Okay, so that's one piece. It seems to be metal. The blades of the shader seems to be some kind of plastic sheet, I would assume. Also, this part seems to be... Oh, maybe... This part seems to be more of a metal thing. Okay, so that was the screws that I saw. Next, we can try to remove this part here. Okay, now it's loose. Okay, so there's still a screw here. Oh, these screws are real tight. Another screw. And this part is loose. And it just fell apart. There was also a spring. And one last part that I missed. And we can probably remove this spring also. If I get a good grab of it. Oh, it doesn't want to come off. Okay, it just yeeted to the side. So that's one spring missing. I think we can try to remove our hoof rings. That's one. That means that this part's free. There's one hoof ring here. And it's free. Which again also allows me to remove the ring beneath it. Or does it? Yep, it does. So there's the ring. And the blades are coming pretty much free on my side, right side. I also see one hoof ring here. Just for a record, I have no idea what they're called. I'm just calling them hoof rings because they remind me like hoof shoes. Okay, so this one's free. And what are we left with? Okay, so it seems that this part is willing to come apart, but I don't want it to yeet it because of the spring. So let's try to remove the spring first somehow. How do we do that? Okay, I was trying to find something else and I found those little babies. I think that they might have been really useful in previous. Okay, so there's the... Ooh, I think I just broke it. Interesting. The spring looked really hard, but it wasn't that hard as I expected. So there's the, not ring, spring. Did I say ring? Did I say spring? I don't know. Now we can remove this part, which was attached to the spring. Blades are free to move without the spring, so it moves pretty much freely. And And I think I'm gonna have to remove those two screws because the blades are still attached on this side. Okay, I have to say those screws are probably the most tight screws in the whole whole device. That's one. And I think, okay, something just fell off. Oh, it was the small ring. Okay, can I remove the blades now? Oh, I can. And something just fell off. I think it was this another ring. So this is the shutter, the top shutter, or at least it's top, I think. No. It's the top. It's the top one. It's the top one. Still have the other part of the shutter, which is still connected to this screw, so let me remove it. This silver piece of, I would assume to be thin metal. At least it seems to be metal. It might be some kind of plastic, but well, I don't think that metal can be this agile. I would say it's probably plastic now, that now I think of it. There's still the spring attached, so let me try to remove it. Okay, so that wasn't really smart. I should have removed the spring first. At least I didn't break it as before. So those parts are there, and one more here. And pretty much the shader fall on its own. So it's almost the same, I would say. It's not the like exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Okay, we are stripping more and more parts from this frame. Can we maybe remove this long part? It's also, oh, it's actually made to be removable, because as you can see there's like a wider part which comes right on there, and now it cannot come off because it's narrower. Smart. Maybe we can remove this spring here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to remove any other parts from the frame, because it seemed to be like permanently attached. Yeah, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any screws that I can reasonably remove, so I think this is the farthest that we can get. Okay, I think this part is also pretty much stripped from all removable parts, except for this part, which I don't think I want to remove it, because I would like to still use this case, maybe for some other projects in the future. So I think I'm gonna leave this part connected. But I would assume that when I remove these 3 screws, the whole mechanism for for the locking of the doors would come off, which isn't probably anything like super interesting, so I think I'm gonna leave this part as it is, because it's pretty much all stripped. And that leaves us with this part here, which is pretty much the front of the camera with the mirror inside. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to remove the mirror first. So probably those two screws. This one went reasonably well. They both went reasonably well. And the mirror seemed to be pretty much loose. Okay, there was a spring attached to the mirror, so you can probably see yourself. Lumix. Okay, my recording stopped, so again, hi, you can see me. Bye. And it's pretty much just a mirror on a hinge, which is pretty cool. I think I might use the mirror for something. I don't really know for what yet, but it might be useful in future. There was also the spring that was pulling the mirror back down. I would assume, if you ask me how big a spring would hold the mirror in a mirror camera, I would probably guess something bigger than this. This seems to be pretty small. Without the mirror, we still have the mechanism for flipping the now missing mirror, which is still working. So let's disassemble that. I'm just looking for a screw to begin with, and I think maybe those two screw, this one and this one here. I'm gonna begin with this one. Okay, this one's out. Okay, is the mechanism any looser than before? It seems to be pretty movable now, from this side at least. I think I'm gonna remove those screws. I don't think they are doing anything with the mechanism, but since they don't have to be there, I might as well just remove them. I don't know, for some reason it's really relaxing to disassemble something that you know that doesn't have to be assembled again. Because if I have to disassemble it again, I would be pretty much stressed the whole way through, because I don't really remember which parts were connected to where. I think I'm gonna just be keeping the chassis and maybe try to add the Raspberry Pi sensor if it fits. But I'm not sure if there's gonna be some kind of display for that or no. So the third and last screw that was just a screw onto this metal chassis, which is like super well built. I think I might just throw it from my window and it would break the concrete below that. Okay, so how do we approach this thing? How do we remove it? There is a screw hidden on this side, so when I load it and press the shutter, there's like this screw right here. I don't know if you can see it. Right here, there's the screw, so I'm gonna try to remove it. Okay, it's really hard because I don't have like the line of sight for it. Okay, it seems to be loosened now. It's definitely loosened. I can almost remove it. Once again, I would be better off with a smaller screwdriver. Okay, it's free now. So we are left with this mechanism. And did the screw pop off, or... Yeah, it's still in there. Okay, so this little guy was preventing us from continuing. There's the mechanism. I think we can try to remove the springs first. Okay, was a good try, maybe from the other side. Okay, let's one spring down. Okay, so that was the second spring. The focus is super weird. Okay, I just bumped into the camera. For some reason this one also seems to be pretty hard to move. Come on. Nice. I don't think the camera got it as sharp as I could, but it's hard to remove something and keep it at focus at the same time. So this is the third spring, and pretty much the whole mechanism is loose, so there are like loose parts here. I think there are still some springs inside. Oh, here you can see that when I move it slightly, it pops. There's still some spring there. I don't really see any more screws or thing that might be removable. I tried to move with this part here, but with no success. Maybe it's movable, but not with my current tools. There are still some springs that I can remove, but I think it might be pointless. There was like this little guy here. But the whole mechanism seems to be like connected to each other with some neats, or I don't know how you call it in English. Pretty much non-screw like attachment. So yeah, that's this part. And we are left with this part. The button is now loose, so gravity can just pull it back and in and out. So gravity can just pull it in and out. So I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to destroy the button. And there's this thing which might be super interesting for us. I don't know how to show it properly. This thing here, which is a bumper for the mirror. So there's like this big screw. So let's just remove it. Oh, this one's pretty tight. Oof. But for some reason, even the other side is moving, and I don't think that's a good sign, because okay, now it seems to be loose. Okay. We good, we Gucci. And here we are left with the parts that were connected to the screw that I just removed. This was on the other side. I probably could have held it with the tweezers, but I managed to remove it anyway. And here we have the bumper. There's like a rubber thing here on both sides, but I think this was the bumper side. It seems like pretty solid and not destroyed, I'd say. So even though it's pretty old camera, it still has solid rubber, so that's that. There is still this moving part, which was very much bumping into the autofocus mode on the lens. This part here was connected. It was connected like this. So this scratch thing is scratched from bumping into this silver thing, the lens. And I don't think I'm gonna be removing this part, because I would like to use anything like for inputs. So I might use the button for some kind of electronical input for electronics inside that I'm gonna put in, and this also. So I don't think there's more to disassemble. Or maybe let's just overview the big parts first. So pretty much we are left with those two big parts. As I said before, there are still some screws connected to the piece for opening the doors, which I'm gonna leave still attached, and the mechanism for the manual focus, which I will still be using in the future, so I'm not gonna be removing that. And all the parts is probably gonna be laid in the nice fashion in the upcoming couple of seconds, so you can see how much parts this camera had. Hey guys, George from Post Editing here. I really enjoyed this disassembly, and if you're interested in games or coding, I have more videos about this topic on this channel, so you might consider subscribing. Otherwise, I might sprinkle some Raspberry Pi content on here, and I might be streaming in the future, so that's my plans, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye!